This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Well, Dunkerberry, it has been fantastic. These NBL superstars have been getting the job done for us. A little bit of suspect defence, but these guys have been flying high. They've been skying, they've been throwing down dunks left, right and centre because we've raised more than $75,000 for the Australian prostate cancer research. Unbelievable stuff. Excellent by everyone at the NBL, all the players and Sportsbet. But we need more. There's still a few days to go. So NBL players, if you're watching, get up, throw that thing down and get it done for Dunkerberry. Enjoy the dunks and enjoy Dunkerberry.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Just 11 games remain in the Hungry Jacks NBL regular season and they all mean something to the Orange Army in Cairns. The Taipans currently hold second spot on the ladder, but their Queensland arch rivals, the Brisbane Bullets, would enjoy nothing more than spoiling the playoff party. And their last clash in round 14 clearly illustrates the level of hostility between these Queensland teams.
It's been physical stuff in Brisbane, plenty of work for the referees to do. Tajir McCall has been very involved in it all.
Cairns were able to get in Brisbane's head.
Right now they're winning the physical and emotional battle.
Now there's a push and shove. Johnson's not happy.
That's your warning. No more.
McCall hits the floor. Oh, Krebs is into it. McCall's involved in another scuffle. This time he and Baines getting into it. Baines has pulled out the grapple hook on the arm of Tajir McCall.
Tackle.
Live from the Cairns Convention Centre, round 17 of the Hungry Jacks NBL continues alongside two-time NBL championship winner Adam Gibson and 2018 champion Pete Hawley. I'm John Casey. It's great to have your company as the NBL playoff race heats up.
Oh, this is going to be huge, Case, and especially with what just happened over in New Zealand, then beat Melbourne United. So this game becomes really crucial for the Cairns Taipans because the Sydney Kings, we think they're going to finish on top and they will solidify that spot. But who else is going to go and avoid the play-in tournament altogether? Cairns, this is a must-win, as they all are down the end of the stretch of the season. But you don't want to find yourself in a play-in tournament.
An injury is going to play a major factor with the ladder so tight as well. And we know Keanu Pinder is out tonight, and he could be out for a little longer than we first anticipated. Jenna O'Hay caught up with coach Adam Ford a little earlier and had this to say.
I did. Fordy said that Keanu has to go see a specialist, which hasn't happened yet. They'll know more once that appointment's happened. But he did say, sadly, that Keanu Pinder will not be on court anytime soon.
Well, that's big news, Jenna. That is unbelievable news for the Cairns Taipans and their playoff hopes. It really does change things, Gibbo.
Well, anytime soon sounds like a potential a long time, but the Taipans have done a great job. He missed 6 games where they had 6 wins, so they know how to, as you see the elbow there, didn't look like too much from Dane Pinot, just a rebounding contest, and takes out his eye, and obviously a nasty gash there.
Well, it was a trifecta, so you got the nose, there was a cut on the lip as well, and then the eye. So it is worrying, and let's hope that it's nothing that's actually in the eyeball that could affect his sight, obviously. We do seem to NBL and eye injuries. We've had a couple of them over the course of the years.
It certainly has been. So that is big news. And as I mentioned, Jenna O'Hay caught up a little earlier with Adam Ford and posed the question that who's going to step up in the absence of Pinder?
Sam again. You know, he's done a great job in the absence and we need him to keep doing that. So DJ's been great scoring. We need a little bit more contribution from Shannon. But again, we just can't put it on those 3 guys. I think collectively, as we've always said, everybody's got to step up.
And they're probably going to go into Big Banger Baines down low. Who will be the matchup on him tonight?
Yeah, we'll give Sam a crack at it. So Baines is Kiwi and a Kiwi versus Kiwi, so we'll see how we go.
We'll still manage to smile about that as well. So Scott Wardenberg, McCall have all had season-high scores in the absence of Pinder. But what about Brisbane and Tyler Johnson? His last 3 games averaged 23 points per game, 10 threes at 48%. But it's obvious that Cairns have got a lot of weapons when we look at these guys.
Well, they do, and we see McCall here with the easy layup. DJ Hogue was huge in this game. He shot the ball really well from outside. as we see there, that's you got to contest that and run him off the three-point line, Pete, if you're Mitch Creek in that situation. But he's been playing great ball, as has Tyler Johnson. His numbers have been phenomenal his last 3 or 4 games. They've made him a focal point, and he's shooting the ball a lot more.
Or they are, and you can see that. I mean, he's played the majority of the season coming off the bench, and that's where he's found his niche, is just that real spark plug off the bench, much like what we've seen with Barry Brown Jr. over in New Zealand. And now he gets the chance to start a couple of games with those key injuries that are out. And look, there's no doubt that he's a starting caliber in the NBL and can play significant minutes. Just with what happened with Brisbane, they moved him to the bench and he kind of found his role, but he has been terrific. I would say he's going to be in a big chance to win the best sixth man, but more importantly, I just love to see him in the NBL and NBL23. So yeah, he's definitely one you want to keep around.
Couldn't agree more. Spent 8 years in the NBA, $53 million he earned there, and he's far too good to be coming off the bench. Let's take a look at the starting 5. Thanks to Champion and the Cairns Taipans going with the same lineup that lost by 5 to the Phoenix on Wednesday night, Gibbo.
Yeah, Shannon Scott, he'll start as a point guard. DJ Hogue, Wardenberg, he's got a big job against Baines. Obviously, Bull Quall and Taj McCall.
And Pete, tell us about the Bullets starting 5 thanks to Champion.
Well, we know Jason Kadee, he's not there with those delayed concussion symptoms. So Tyler Johnson does get the start. And this will be feisty. We do remember what happened last time in Nissan Arena. Tajir McCall was instigating a lot. And there you go. They're going to be outsized because Sam Wardenberg did not even attempt that jump ball. Just knew that Aaron Baines was going to win it. And here come the Bullets.
See if they can get Baines involved early as Johnson looks to lob the pass straight to him. It was short. Waterberg got a piece of it, fronting Baines, and now McCall up and running, spinning into the paint a little extravagantly. Finds Hogue, the danger man from long range, off the front of the rim.
Well, they dodge one there. That's a too easy shot. I like the first play by the Bullets, just poor execution. They've done this a lot. Baines is doing a great job with seals as he misses a bunny under the hoop, but I like the mindset from the Bullets to go to the big fella early.
Misses a bunny. That slipped straight out of the hands. Aaron Baines, and no doubt you want to put him on the block as here goes Nathan Sobey on the break.
Open scoring after 50 seconds off another error from the Taipans.
And no doubt Cairns, the pressure will just starting to rise ever so slightly because New Zealand did get the job done. And if they happen to fall out of that second spot and find themselves in the playing tournament, I think they're going to come back and look at those missed opportunities. And again, Bull Quall loves playing the Brisbane Bullets.
And that's a big shot for him. 1 of 8 from the 3 against the Phoenix in their last game. So that'll feel great for him going down early.
Bull Quall turns into Steph Curry when a Bullets uniform is in front of him.
He's averaging 16 a game against Brisbane, 10 on the season. Nice to underscore that. Red numbers on the shot clock. Baines down low against Wardenberg. Gets in time, but unsuccessfully.
Again, Peter, going back to the well. They're feeding the big fella. He's got to do more with that.
He's aggressively against Wardenberg. Handing over to McCall. Almost 2 minutes played in the opening quarter and dancing along the baseline and out of court.
That's the way to defend Tajir McCall. You want to tempt him to shoot the 3, and normally the blanket rule when you're defending a re-screen, so if that first screen's set and you've got a non-shooter, you're going to go underneath that ball screen, but if the big re-screens, you have to try and fight over. That's the way you're always taught. Unless it's Tajir McCall, you can really continue to slide under and try and meet him on the other side. You want him to tempt and see if he's feeling good from outside.
See, the last time they met, round 14, 26-point win. Cairns have won all 3 games this season. They won all 4 last season, so they're on a 7-game winning streak against Brisbane. They haven't won since May 2021. In that season, they swept Cairns. So could be facing 3 straight years of a Queensland sweep as Baines with a hook shot finally gets his scoring underway.
Well, there's just that size. Too big, too strong. Wardenberg's got to do a better job of boxing Baines out and getting him outside that key as Bull Quall steps in again. Pete Hawley.
I'm telling you, he loves playing the Bullets. We're just going to refer to him as Steph Quall for the rest of the game. I'm telling you, he just loves playing Brisbane.
Bull Curry.
Either or. Sounds better.
Johnson inside the 3-point line to the lap of honour. Didn't like it. Didn't like the look and jumped out. McCall for Quall. Why not? Go back to the hot man. Barges his way past White and earns a trip to the free throw line.
Had 12 points in the first quarter the last time they met at Nissan Arena. Then picked up a little bit of a stinger of an injury. Didn't end up coming back on, but never really found the form that he started in. And this is what Cairns can do. I mean, I know he's playing the Bullets. He's going to try and get him up, but they will move the ball. Without Keanu Pinder, they're going to move the ball. Everybody's going to get that opportunity to shoot. They like to play fast, and Talk about that pressure. They had 2 horrific inbound passes against the Phoenix at the State Basketball Centre, which basically gave that game away, and that was one that could have really helped solidify that second spot for them.
Stroking it nicely. Will Quoll, he has 6, in fact all 7 now of the Cairns Taipans points. Played almost 3 minutes. Sobey helps himself to 2 more for Brisbane.
That's just bully ball by Nathan Sobey. Just pushes him out of the way and gets the easy layup.
Hogue picks up the dribble. McCall goes to work, draws a foul and gets it done as well. Chance at a 3-point play.
That's what he can do really well. Supreme athlete. First step from Tajir McCall. You don't catch it, and you see there, DJ Mitchell, the closeout, he was on the baseline side. DJ Mitchell might just have a little bit of a memory of what happened last time, the instigating from Tajir McCall. That's a really tough finish, though.
I reckon there's a bit of spice in that one, Pete.
Yeah, a little bit of volleyball spike.
It's a 4-point edge for the Taipans here. Started brightly against Brisbane. Sobey, energised, rejected. TJ Hogue climbs upstairs for the block. He's top 3 in the competition in that category.
Well, he's elite. Just that help side defense. He sits back, he reads the play. He's got such long arms that he can block any shot almost, and he sends out to the second row.
There's Johnson off the mark, and Wardenberg grabs the board. There's a chance for Bull Quoll. 7 points in the game, yet to miss his shot. Gets down low. Hence White showed him some tricks and draws a foul off to the free throw line.
100% has that in his mind that he does love playing this team, because he's never this aggressive in normal games on the offensive end. He's always sets the tone defensively and does it a really good job. And there's big banger. Just
starting early. Let's go. Why do you think that is, Pete? Why do you think Bull Quoll feels so comfortable against his team?
I think it's just he has had success in recent history and then looks forward to the matchup, so it comes in with that extra set of confidence. He already got 7 points in 3.5 minutes. Who was your team you love to play against? Mind you, you did play for.
Well, I used to love playing against former teams, because you know the scout, you know what offense they run, you know how they like to guard things, and you know the personnel. So if you're guarding someone, you know their moves, you know if they can defend or if they can't, so you know who to attack. So I always used to like playing against former teams.
A few of those for you.
I did have a few.
7-2 run here from the Taipans, has them out by 6, but the drought breaks now for Brisbane.
That's a big shot. They needed that from Sobey. Didn't score well in their last game. 13 points, which is quiet for Sobey, but great to see him hit a 3 early on in this one.
Good to see him aggressive. Hogue, Mr. McCall. Shot clock rolls to single digits. McCall lost the handle again. Get it back, busted play here. Wardenberg open. Hits the front of the rim. They're 1 of 3 from long range, the Taipans.
Well, it is a significant out with Keanu Pinder, because they were really trying in the last 2 games to figure out how they get their superstar back at his best. We know he was still coming to grips with getting his conditioning right, but they couldn't ultimately do it. Now they've got to go back to what they were doing without him and trying to play fast and play free. They're having some trouble trying to stop Baines right now. He's using his size and just planting himself on the NBL logo, and if he does that, no one is moving him.
So Baines has 4, Sobey has 11. They've combined for all the 7 for Sobey, so they have all 11 points for Brisbane. Here's Bull Quoll, who leads the game with 9, and the Cairns Taipans 12. And now Hogue opens his account.
Well, you give a shooter like DJ Hogue a sider, wide open 3 to start the game. The second one feels a lot better, and great penetration by Bull Quoll. A little over help. You see Bull. You see the Amy replay. Over help by DJ Mitchell, and that's too easy for DJ Hogue.
DJ Hogue, what a season he's put together.
Speaking of a good season, we spoke earlier of Tyler Johnson being in great form at the moment. What an acquisition he's been for Brisbane. He spoke to Jenna Hay pre-game about how he's seen his debut season in the NBL.
It's been, this first year is a little emotional. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's been a little emotional, but I will say that, you know, I've really enjoyed my time here, and I would definitely look into coming back here if it was a possibility.
And lastly, club officials were a little bit worried when you first came to Brisbane. You're getting a lot of heat rashes. How have you managed?
You know what? The heat calmed down, obviously. Thankfully, you know, we've been going to some places, especially down south, been a little colder. So we've been blessed, actually, to stay.
We are up north at the moment. It's hot. Will we have any problems tonight?
No, we should be straight. We should be all right.
Good luck tonight.
You crazy. You wild for that. You wild for that. You wild for that. I'll give you that, though. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You wild for that.
Jenna Hay catching Tyler Johnson off guard.
Well, that's a straight stitch up. Sammy McKinnon's dished out a little inside information from behind closed doors, and seems like a real character, Pete.
Great human being, yeah, no doubt about it. That's a lot of the Bullets guys speak so highly of that kind of character around, and when you've got that combined with that NBA experience, he's going to lead to good things. We've seen him really take his game to another level.
Looked off the D, couldn't hit his opening shot. Roger Gack grabs the rebound though and draws a foul.
How about the poise of Cody Statman? For a young kid to come in, I feel like his minutes have been great. He hasn't had a lot of them, but just the poise, throws a pass fake. He'll knock that down more often than not. Bright future for the league.
Yeah, I think the Bullets have started to show that. With Statman, we know what Gack's done in his opportunity, but just starting to get them regular minutes in the rotation, especially towards the end of the season when they have had their struggles throughout the majority of NBL23.
First foul called on the Taipans is Johnson, and he comes up with the goods to open his scoring account.
Can't go under that screen with Tyler Johnson.
Chance now for the Taipans. Penetration from Waterberg, got in the air with nowhere to go. Coughed it up, Johnson, Statman in support, Sobey joining in, Gack there as well. Statman from close range, comes up with a two. His first score in the game to tie it away.
Great extra pass by Sobey, drew all the defense through the shot fake, and tough finish at the hoop.
Here's McCall to the elbow, wants help. Provided now by Ben Air. Guarded by Statman. Shot clock to single digits. Hogan a mismatch against Sobey. Muscles his way down close, and they can't prevent him from coming up with two more.
We hear Adam Ford is yelling out, get to the hoop, get to the hoop. He wants someone to go and post up, like Brisbane doing with Baines. He wants that down the other end. He feels like it's too perimeter orientated. So great one-on-one move. Sobey cannot guard Hogan the post, and a tough finish.
That's why I like the Twin Towers right now. From Greg Vandergit, you've got Gack and Harrison out there. They're going to have size mismatches all over the floor. It's just about putting them in a position to be successful. And I'll tell you what, Jim McCall looks a bit confused. Thought there was contact on the first initial bump, but then the step through looks pretty clean.
Well, a reminder, Reebok is giving you the chance to win the trip of a lifetime to the US for you and a mate to meet Shaquille O'Neal. Flights, accommodation and spending money all included. To enter, scan the QR code on your screen now or head to shaq.nbl.com.au. Great prize, thanks to Reebok. And Sobey looks to add to his tally and does so.
Sobey up to 9 points now. It's a great start for him in this first quarter.
So tied at 17, 3.5 left in this opening quarter. In a seesawing affair, both teams in front. Shot wouldn't work there. For Ben Air, but Qual fires off the mark. First miss of the game for him. 2 of 3 from the field now. 4 of 4 from the stripe. This is Sobey. He's off the mark, and Wardenberg grabs the rebound. 4 boards now for Wardenberg. Brisbane has 5 as a team. To put that in context, here he is at the offensive end. Shut down. Well done, Harrison.
Wardenberg got the step on him, but Tyrell is an athlete. Meets him at the hoop and sends that shot.
Here's Gack muscling his way down low. Qual went down in the process.
Yeah, I think this is a good call. If he wants to give this challenge, I think Bull Qual would win that. It looked like he slapped down, and it came off the knee of Gack. So originally it's called Brisbane ball. I think Adam Ford's going to have a challenge.
Well, how's the confidence Fordy has in his play?
There's no chance Fordy could see that.
Didn't even look, didn't ask his coaches to check their cameras out. Straight in, just full confidence.
It looked like it was a pretty good call straight away from Bull Qual, that is. The swipe down looked like it came off Gack's knee. And this pace right now the Bullets are playing at, can they sustain it for 40 minutes? Because there's only 2 teams that play at this tremendous pace on the offensive end. It's the Taipans and the Sydney Kings. We have another look at this here. So that now.
That hit his hand after.
No, it's come straight off the knee. Surely. I don't even know if Bull Cole's hit it, actually, in the end. I thought Bull Cole got it on the swipe down, but even the baseline angle, have a look here. We're going to slow it down. I don't actually think he hits the ball. I think it just comes straight off the knee of Gak.
Could be an expensive miss here because you need conclusive proof
Well, they
to
can
overturn. Is that conclusive to you? That he didn't get a touch there
surely.
As he slaps down?
They're not the best angles, are they,
They're
Case?
not. And early in the game, ball trickling out of court, 17 apiece. You'd hate to get it wrong.
The coach's challenge is successful. The call is overturned. Cairns ball.
I think it's the right call. I think from that broadcast view, it looked like that Bull Cole had a swipe down and then potentially could have hit his hand on the way out. But I think that baseline call, you could see that his hand actually doesn't touch the ball at all. And Gak just fumbles it out of bounds. But back to the pace. So they tried to... Brisbane played this way against the Kings a couple of weeks ago where they really matched it for the first quarter. Then Sydney ran over the top of them. Cairns play at this pace for 40 minutes, have done so the whole season. So it's a good start from Brisbane, but they have to sustain it if this is the way they want to play.
Yeah, I think without Kadee, without Krebs, I don't think they have enough to sustain that, Pete.
Well done again. Harrison at the defensive end, walling up, stopping the Taipans in their tracks. His Bart baseline, his pass deflected as well. Active hands there from Jonah Antonio, who's checked into the game. Hogan Quol, the only starters on the floor for Cairns at the moment. Sobey, the only starter there for Brisbane, and that's why.
We'll go off Nathan Sobey, the running right-hand hook. That's some old school Case. You would have seen a few of them back in the day.
Fantastic to watch. In Adelaide, Brisbane back on top here by 2 after at one stage Cairns were out by 6, but our man Bull Quol goes again.
Bull Curry.
Bull Curry.
It's Bull Curry against the Bullets.
Puts his team back on top. 12 in the quarter now. As Gak lines up the 3, that's off the mark. And whistle.
Orange 13, holding foul.
Foul's going to be called on the Juk Deng, I believe. Here's Bull Quol knocking down his second triple of the game.
But if he is shooting with this confidence for the Cairns Taipans, they've already got other shooters who spread the floor. This changes the dynamic for Cairns. And I think after this game again, Adam Ford's probably going back to the review saying, Bull, where is this against other teams? You can afford to be this aggressive. That's the next step in his game. He came in, earned his stripes. He was tremendous last season, setting a tone on the defensive end. We know what he does physicality-wise, but that next offensive step is what's going to really make him jump up in this league.
A rookie of the year last season, averaged 10 points, hit 64 threes in his season last season. He's gained average 10 this year, and coming into this game, had 43s on the season. So he's backed it up with good numbers, but yes, does enjoy playing against the Queensland neighbours. So in the corner, Juk Deng overshot it, and Mitchell came up with the loose ball. Hands over to Tyler Johnson. He gets a good look and makes them pay again.
Well, again, Pete, you mentioned before, you cannot go under that screen on Tyler Johnson. He's shooting the ball too well. Antonio goes under, gives him a nice wide open 3, and he knocks it down.
Chance very quickly up the floor. Johnson adds to the tally, so they now lead by 4. A game-high lead for Brisbane.
I wanted to get upstairs. He's still got some bounce in his legs, and there's that speed from the Taipans. Ben Air just walks into a 3-ball.
Johnson to the baseline. Needs help. Bark shares it around the perimeter. They get it to Baines.
Double here, and there is the Jim McCall.
Outside, the danger man gets it and fills it up again. 14 now for Sobey to lead all scorers, and Brisbane have opened up a 7-point edge.
Well, it's a ball movement for me, Pete. The ball's moving. They're not holding on for too long. You see Baines, double team comes, kicks it straight back out to Sobey.
Well, you had to hit that too, because that should have been one more to DJ Mitchell, and Tyler Johnson, who just knocked one down, was wide open.
It was 17 apiece just a couple of minutes ago. So 10-3 is the run for Brisbane as we move inside the last 60 seconds of the opening quarter. This is worrying signs for the Taipans. Brisbane with this buffer, and of course Cairns needing to win, desperate for a win as they look to protect their position on the ladder, and Brisbane just here to spoil the party.
Well, Pete mentioned it early on. It's a big game. Nerves can come in as you see the head-to-head. 12-14, 3 of 5, 5 of 7, both shooting the ball well from the 3-point line. It's going to be a great matchup throughout this whole game.
Well, it is, no doubt. And yeah, this game is huge for the Cairns Taipans. because they've had too good of a season to, if they had hypothetically fall to third spot, potentially, and losing straight sets before making the semi-final series in the playing tournament. I don't think that will happen, but you just don't want to put yourself even in that situation. And the New Zealand Breakers, well, yeah, they're starting to look like the New Zealand Evolve we hadn't seen for a couple of weeks.
The Breakers are coming. They're watching this game, no doubt. They want Brisbane to get a win here, and they want that second spot.
So the Taipans need a bucket here just to steady the ship. Going solo, Wardenberg hands over. Deng lost the handle. Johnson to Sobey. Sobey had 13 points for the game on Australia Day in the loss to New Zealand. Already with 14 here in the opening quarter on 5 of 7 shooting. Mitchell against Deng. Bounces into the paint, short-armed it. Got a chance for McCall. Gets it up the floor quickly and back from Antonio. Now Wardenberg takes on Baines, who's going to be called for the foul. His first personal, and Brisbane over the limit. In fact, that's 4.
That's what Sam Wardenberg has to do down the other end. If Aaron Baines is going to sit with his size down low and really make it hard for Wardenberg, you've got to put the ball on the floor and try and test out that lateral quickness from Aaron Baines. Pick up a couple of fouls there. That'll always help your job down the other end.
It definitely will. Easiest way to guard someone is to make them sit down, Pete, with foul trouble. So for me, Baines has been a little bit hot-headed of late. A couple of fouls and a couple of bad calls, and he could turn. So if Baines can stay composed, keep his head in the game, the Bullets will have a real crack here.
You spoke about it on the crossover with Damon Lowry. I think Damon gave him a D in terms of his report card. Where do you see it, Gibbo?
I wouldn't have given him a D. Very, very rough rating. I'll give him a B. Like, he hasn't had the season that we all thought he was going to, especially from pre-season. And again, some personnel, and I just don't think the right mix of players and personnel for him on this team. So you change a few things, I think it's a different ball game. But he's shown he's still got what it takes for sure.
There he is again. He's top 5 in the league in rebounding, so I don't think you can give him a D.
Well, that foul's going to be on Paul Quall. He looked like he was boxing out Aaron Baines, and you can hear Nico Fernandez saying he was just getting underneath him. Having a look here.
First foul on Bull Quall. Cairns has 4 as a team, all individual fouls.
It's a tough call.
Well, that's a very tough call.
Because what more can you ask a guy who's outsized to try and do? He got down in his stance and tried to move Aaron Baines out of the keyway.
Outside, Sobey, extra pass. Rasmus Bark steps inside the 3-point line, off the mark, can't get it done, but Brisbane enjoy a 6-point lead at quarter time. In far north Queensland, the Brisbane Bullets 27, Lee Cairns 21. We've got a lot more coming at you on the Hungry Jacks NBL Saturday Night Double here in the moment. Thanks for sharing your Saturday night with us here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Battle of Queensland has been a good one so far. Cairns led by as many as 6 in the opening quarter, but by the time we got to the first break, it was Brisbane in front by 6, 27-21, and some pressure building on the Taipans here, Gibbo.
Well, Cairns, they got into a great start, like you said, but Sobe and his Bullets come back and lead the quarter by 6 points.
I don't think you'd be too upset if you are Cairns, because you probably think if you had him forward, this isn't the style of play that Brisbane usually play with this speed, and you know that you back your ability to play that fast all game. As Tajim McCall knocks down the rare three-pointer. He knocks down a couple more of those, then all of a sudden you think maybe it is his night shooting the ball, and that changes the way you defend him on a ball screen. And ultimately opens up a lot on the floor.
22% from deep this season, just 11 threes for Tajim McCall. This man's been much better, and Mitchell comes up with his first score in the game. 47% from deep coming into this game. The other end, Hogue wants to join the three-point party.
Two DJs going at it.
Sobe, Mitchell, Johnson. Left alone, lot pass down for Baines with 10 on the shot clock. Double team arrives, but he wants to take them on the big man. Eventually puts it on the deck and goes with a hook shot. Very untidy place, and he was fouled.
It looked like he changed pivot foot 3 times.
Spot on, Gibbo. They called a travel in the end, and they could pick which travel they wanted to call that one on. Now look here, he sent the double team. So there's the first one.
Oh, he might.
I reckon there was only one at the very start, maybe. After that, it was actually not too bad.
Here's McCall exploring. Baines talked him out of the tip him went in nonetheless from DJ Hogue.
DJ Hogue, again, massive fan of his game. He's been outstanding all season long, and tweeted after the last game, but I think we found him. I think I find him in All-NBL first team, and there's his partner, who, that's unfortunate. You do not want to be mid-bite of some phenomenal Cairns Convention Centre food and get stuck on camera.
Let's go courtside to Jenna O'Hay.
Yeah, I was in the Cairns Taipans quarter-time chat. 40 really wants the boys to keep attacking. He likes when they get their feet in the paint, but he doesn't want them to force it. I know there's been a few threes gone up at the beginning of this quarter, which he wouldn't be too pleased about. And they also spoke defensively. They're looking to trap Bainesy, and they've also got that 2-3 zone to go back to, which he thought worked well.
Well, they mentioned there about trapping Baines. That worked there last time. If you're Aaron Baines in that last possession, draw the double team, you've done your job, kick it on and let the other players make the reads.
Better performance in this first minute and a half from Cairns. They are locked in.
7-3 is the run since quarter time as Scott goes to Hogue. Back to Scott. He fires the three off the mark. 4 of 11 from deep. Taking more shots from beyond the perimeter than inside the three-point line at the moment. And Sobe's going to be called for the offensive foul here as he just nudges Tajim McCall away.
He doesn't like it. He said he wants the challenge. And,
second personal.
Well, Tajim McCall does often throw a bit of mayonnaise in to some of those. What doesn't help Sobe is that little drop of the shoulder anyway, so there is contact there. Might be accentuated, but that contact there initially is going to be easy to call.
Well, if he does have a propensity to put a little bit of mayo on, that's where you've got to avoid that. I mean, that's part of his shtick. It's part of the way he guards you.
And look, a couple of times this season, no doubt, he's gone a bit too far. We've seen him get a technical for it. But he does get right up and in. So if you do throw a little bit of it, he will take it that next step and get the call.
Statman takes it from Sobe back to Tyler Johnson. Good hustle there from the Taipans to keep Brisbane a long way from the rack. Shot clock to red numbers. Statman looks off the D, got an opening, can't connect. Gack the offensive rebound. Sobe wide open.
That's a settler. It's a big shot from Sobe. A little bit heated, a little bit all over the place. Great poise by Statman again. Bullets drop back into a 2-3 zone.
Well, it's an interesting thing. The zone, yes, you can try and slow down that pace from the Taipans, but they have got shooters around. Here's the gaming replay. Who else? Gorjok Gack gets the offensive board. He has 5 boards in 4.5 minutes. And Nathan Sobe, who's already feeling good from outside, hits his third 3. We've got 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Look, I like the zone by the boards, Pete, but you cannot let someone penetrate the zone like McCall did then and get straight to the hoop for a layup.
Well, those are the self-inflicted wounds we've seen a lot from Brisbane. That and the last time they went to the free throw line, DJ Hogue, so Jim McCall tips in the offensive board on a missed free throw. That just cannot happen.
So 10 free throws now for the Taipans, just 2 for Brisbane so far. And it's the Bullets by 3 after starting this quarter up 6. Sobey pressured in the backcourt. To Gak, to pass to Baines, and it just wasn't the right length for him.
Well, I can tell you, when a big go into a big in that situation, 99 times out of 100 that ball's going to go in the air. You may get away with a bounce pass once, but that ball's got to be thrown up. Let Baines use his strength to hold him out and go and get it.
Hogue, with the advice from coach Adam Ford to back Sobey down low, takes on Gak and draws a foul. He's off to the free throw line.
Well, I love that about 40. He gives his players that much confidence. He knows if he's got a mismatch, everyone get out of the way and let him go to work. Same thing happened against the Phoenix with McCall. If he knows someone has a clear mismatch, he wants those guys to be aggressive and take that opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were talking about Tyler Johnson, and we heard that he would love to come back for NBL24. If we can get Tyler Johnson to stay around in the league, and same with DJ Hogue. A very good place. It's been terrific this season. DJ Hogue going to get a nod on your first team, Gibbo?
I would have him in mine. No, I would have him in my first team for sure. As a 3-man.
Well, it doesn't work like that, but you can have him in there.
He's played some wing. He's played some wing.
Oh, as an outside player? Yeah, he'll be listed as an outside player.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Been outstanding this year, Hogue. 17 points a game, top 10 in the competition. And also delivering 6 boards as well, 3 assists, just outside the top 10 in steals, 3rd in block shots. He's been able to do it all. Shot clock about to expire on Sobey. He's deep with the 3. Statman did well to grab the offensive rebound and the putback.
Give me more of Cody Statman. I love this kid's game. So poised. Does all the little things, Pete, to make your team successful.
Another one just taking advantage of the opportunities that he gets.
Hogue against Gak. 2 number 1s going at it. And Gak just went on with a little too long. Has now picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, it's a hard matchup. With no Keanu Pinder, you are allowed to see right now, we're going to see DJ Hogue slide down to that 4 spot. And again, going with the twin towers of Gak and Baines this time, neither of those two are going to be able to stay in front of DJ Hogue on the perimeter, and rightly so. Greg Vander just says we're going to bring DJ Mitchell back in and try and help that out. A bit of DJ on DJ coming up. That'd be an interesting. I'd pay money for that 3-point contest. DJ Mitchell, DJ Hogue, DJ Vasiljevic.
Yeah.
Don't completely rule out Daniel Johnson as well.
Well, he's definitely in for me. If we can get DJ Newbill back as well, I didn't mind knocking down a 3 as well. So back to a 1-point ball game.
That's a great starting 5. Just quietly, you put that team together.
You guys are talking about on the crossover 3-point contest. It's hard to go past Vasiljevic. There's Tyler Johnson.
He's had a trip to the free throw line. Foul on Mortenberg, going to be his first personal.
Hey, don't go there. Come on.
An aggressive Tyler Johnson is a good Tyler Johnson for Brisbane.
With the 7 points, 2 steals as well.
Had his season high of 32 when these teams last met in round 14. So he can put up big numbers. Incidentally, his highest score in the NBA as well is 32. As you see, 3 and 4 assists and 4 steals along with that.
Well, the question's going to be, Pete, no doubt you would assume Brisbane would probably want to bring him back. Can these two play together in the backcourt to start? Or do they need a point guard, a true point guard?
It's an interesting one because they are very similar in terms of that position. We don't really have a true point guard. They both really, that scoring threat, combo guard style.
Is Jason Kadee not a true point guard?
He is, but you know, you bring someone like Tyler Johnson, you'd probably assume he would start for the Bullets. But whether you see a great finish on the hoop, whether Sobey and Johnson can both start, there's very similar guards. So.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned Tyler Johnson's a starting caliber guard in this league. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of that might depend on who else they put around. If you've got a team that you're really confident can contend for a title, then it's different. Then you're thinking, okay, you still play starters minutes and come off the bench and lock into that role like he has this year, that's a different conversation altogether.
Another turnover for Brisbane there. That's 5 in this quarter. Taipans had 5 at quarter time and haven't added in that tally.
Oh boy,
how they've retaken the lead. Here's Bull Qual has now got 15 in the game.
Bull Curry, sorry, we'll get it right eventually. He's gone for a 30-piece. A little down screen from Tajima McCall. Andrew White hasn't got the memo. You've got to stay attached to that man right now, because that man is lighting it up. 15 points, 3 or 4 from outside. Feeling really good about himself, and so he should.
Of course, he hit a career high 8 of 10 threes against Brisbane round 10 last season, Bull Qual. But if the Taipans, well, at the moment, second on the ladder, and they don't want to slip from there because the top 2 teams automatically through to the semi-finals. Third plays 4th, and the loser there gets a second chance. 5 plays 6 in sudden death. So that's the equation. And if the 3rd and 4th team, whoever loses that game, if they get through, that they end up in the same half of the draw as the Kings. That's the killer as well if the Kings do finish on top. So for the Taipans, the best spot for them is to finish second, straight through to the semi-finals, avoid the Kings, who've been the best team all year, until the championship decider if it unfolds that way.
They beat the Kings if they do get to a grand final series twice this season. The one time they lost was on a buzzer beater 3. But that's going to be really interesting. Oh, I love the playing tournament. I think it's a great year for it. And I tell you what, the 2 games tomorrow have a massive impact on this. And obviously Tasmania, that's a very important game. If they lose that,
Tassie Perth,
they're going to potentially be in a bit of trouble. They played the Hawks last, but if the Phoenix go down to the Kings by a couple of points, I think Melbourne United are going to have to beat the Sixers by around 40-odd percentage-wise in the last round, which...
Well, Perth are also in a difficult situation. I've seen Tassie bounce back in over 2 days from a loss to a big win, and I wouldn't count them out at home tomorrow. I think they can beat Perth, and then Sydney against South East Melbourne Phoenix.
It's safe to say that we're nearly at the end of the season and we have no idea how it's going to finish, but other than Sydney on top.
Well, it shows the quality of the league, Pete, when you have games that it's going to come down to the last few games to see who's going to make the finals. As Baines just throws a little chicken wing here.
Nico Fernandez was in the perfect spot for it. And look, if Aaron Baines, that is exactly what it is, that chicken wing. But it just happens to be that his chicken wing is 10 times stronger than everybody else's.
Second personal on Baines. Gack already has 3. Sobey also with 2, along with Andrew White. So 10 fouls now on Brisbane in the game, including 6 in this quarter. And how about the finish there from TJ Hogue?
TJ Hogue from the Kmart logo. Lose possession.
Well, I said Andrew White didn't get the memo against Bull Qual right now, but DJ Hogue loves a deep 3.
Desperate for a bucket. Brisbane add to the tally.
14 points for DJ Hogue. They've hit 6 of 13 threes. Got to close out to this man.
Little deep, kept alive. Well done, McCall. Stepped on the line, will restart here. Taipans have got 3 players in double figures, including DJ Hogue with 14, including 2 of 4 from long range. And Wardenberg has 1 point from the free throw line. So Bull Qual 15, Hogue 14, McCall 12, and the rest of the team have got 1 point between them. Wardenberg from the stripe, and here goes Hogue once more. He can throw it down as well. Here's a 3, here's a dunk, take them all.
I'm well and truly on the DJ Hogue bandwagon. He's that fun to watch.
Sobey looking to get bullets back into the equation here because it's rapidly slipping away from them on a 3-point barrage. Qual open again, waited for Baines to fly past, can't connect. Now 3 of 6 from long range, but they've hit 6 threes in the game. 40% Cairns, and Brisbane are 5 at 42%, so they've been good from deep as well and continue to be good from deep. Mitchell now a perfect 2 of 2.
Well, it's a shootout. 6 of 15, 6 of 13. Both teams are well over 40% from the 3-point line, and they are getting them up.
I'll tell you what, I think Bill Cole's feeling good about himself in this game. He took that 3 and ended up in the second row before he got back, and here's that steal. Good pressure, and here's DJ Hogue. As easy as you like, and a little bit animated afterwards.
Well, it is Dunkueri, 172 dunks and counting.
Phenomenal effort.
So
We'll
keep that tally ticking over for prostate cancer.
I've been told, Pete, we need 7 dunks a game for the remainder of their games to reach $100,000. 7 dunks a game.
Well, let's encourage it. Sounds like a high number, but don't want to discourage anyone from doing it.
That's what I said. Next year we're gonna have to chat. If you are vertically inclined, then if you get on the break and you get a backdoor tap, there's to Jim McCall. I mean, something like that should count too.
Nice finish from McCall. 15 in the game for him now, 5 of 7 shooting. We had big source Alan Williams commentating here with us last week. Told us he hasn't dunked all year, not one.
Well, big source is letting down the team, isn't he?
He is.
I'm going to have a word to the big fella.
He has promised one in January, so he better get one against Sydney tomorrow.
Look, we'll let him slide. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to the big source. But, hey, we need a couple of dunks tomorrow against the Kings.
Is Hogue wheeling and dealing. Or the pass for Wardenberg. He eventually scoops it up, fires baseline, a little short with it.
Still, he's the only other Taipan to score with that 1 point from the free throw line. Ball, McCall and Hogue.
Sobey was 17 in the game, but only 3 since quarter time. This is the danger man. Mitchell works inside the D. Overcooked it from mid-range, and now Sobey gets it back after Harrison grabbed the offensive rebound. 5 offensive rebounds to 3 in favour of Brisbane. Shot clock to red numbers. Sobey needs help. Bark bumped. And is off to the free throw line.
Smart play from Rasmus Bark. And if I'm Tyrell Harrison, just going to be a little smarter. That you don't want to bring DJ Hogue, who's a terrific defender, into that ball screen and allow an easy switch. So you see there, DJ Hogue got to guard instead of Sam Wardenberg. So if I'm Nathan Sobey, I'm screaming Harrison to get out of the way and just try and get downhill one-on-one and then open everything up. And in the end, kind of got bailed out because Bark made a great cut and Lat Mayen was caught ball watching.
Well, DJ Hogue really turning it on here. Season average of 17, and he's got 16 at the moment on 5 of 7 from the field, 2 threes, and 3 assists and a block and a steal to go along with it. He's just everywhere.
Well, he's got such long arms. He's an athlete. He's just sitting on that dunk. You cannot leave him open on the three-point line. That's way too much space. You've got to run him off the three-point line, make him drive. As you see his mismatch here against Sobey in the post. See a great tip in there. He just stays active around the hoop. Gets that loose ball. This one's from the Kmart logo. Again, that's way too much space. You see him take off. The one-hand flush, Pete.
I just love his game. He can do it in so many ways. And there is his all-NBL CV. As you mentioned, Case, terrific stats throughout the year, but I think it's more so his impact to have those massive moments in games where he hits big shots. He's been tremendous in big fourth-quarter performances. And if I had to vote for my first team, I know the coaches and captains are going to be doing the votes as we get closer to the Gazies. He's in one of my outside players. Bryce Cotton, as long as he is wearing a jersey and on the floor, I think we can always cement that man in all-NBL first team. So Bryce Cotton, and I'm probably going to give Barry Brown Jr. the nod as the other one. Cooks and Creek as the 2 inside for mine, if I had to pick.
Cotton's on the template at the moment until things change. But the other thing with DJ Hogue is it's 68 threes this season, 4th best in the competition. So he's got some good players ahead of him, the 3 ahead of him. Hazard to guess?
Golding.
Number 1. Had a terrific clip as well.
Yeah.
Vasiljevic.
On the spot.
Bryce might be.
Oh, Bryce
might be hovering, and another American import, that Illawarra. He's knocked down a lot of threes as well.
Tyler Harvey.
Yep, and then DJ Hogue.
Some nice company.
He's been terrific, and again, that's going to be fascinating, as all the awards are. But can't forget Derry Wallen Jr. Can't forget Milton Doyle. As you mentioned, Chris Golding's had a fantastic season as well. He'll get a couple of looks.
I think you mentioned earlier in the season we should maybe thinking about all-NBL third team when you consider the quality that's there. When you consider the quality that's going to miss out of the all-NBL team and the all-NBL second team, why not?
I think there's going to be a bit of a conversation in the off-season about maybe tinkering with the criteria. We know it's the 3 outside, 2 inside players, and it has worked for some time. But now when you think of the likes of the potential inside players who are going to miss out altogether after having incredible seasons.
So inside the last 2 minutes of a first half, it's seesawed one way, then back the other. This is Sobey off the glass. Harrison, offensive rebound again. Bark hands it over to Tyler Johnson. 13 in the game for him. Drops it off for Harrison, who dances into the paint, attracted all the attention. And got clubbed and is going to earn these from the free throw line once he regathers himself.
Sure is. Just absolutely going to have to earn these 2 points. It's a big hit straight across the face. Tyler Harrison, DJ Hogue, trying to get his second block of the game. Right there, looks might have gone with the elbow. Last thing on the awards, you talk about adding a third team. Well, I think I'd love to see an all-defensive team.
Right.
Got some elite defenders.
Yep. Why not?
It's always hotly contested, that award. The Martin Award. The Martin Trophy.
So much upside for Tyrell Harrison if we can get him fully fit and playing the full season. 12 of 14 from the free throw line at 86% coming into this game. And in terms of his field goal shooting, #1 in the competition, 81% from the field, 30 of 37 on the season. And we've spoken about how we can block shots and everything else he brings to the table. If we can, as I say, fully fit and getting a good run at it, I think Harrison and I think Brisbane were of that opinion as well. And we're hoping that he might blossom a little more than he has, and the injuries have slowed him down a bit.
Oh, absolutely. He's a great kid. He works hard. Big upside. His stats don't show what he provides to the team so far in his first half. A lot of tip outs. Impacting the shots down this end.
Oh, wow. Hitting the deck hard here. Tajir McCall too comfortable at the moment.
Well, we've seen 3 or 4 of these now. Just hard swipe straight across the head, and that's a tough landing for Tajir McCall.
He's hit the deck very hard. Trying to shake it off. 15 points in the game for Tajir McCall at the moment.
That might be right on the glute.
Yeah, that'll sting.
A little corky on the glute. He's coming out of the game, and he's saying, no, I'm good enough to shoot the free throw still. Don't you want to take your points? But if that is on the glute, you're still going to be able to bend down to shoot the free throw.
Had a great second quarter here. He's 12 of his 15 in this quarter. Hogue has 11 of his 16 in this quarter. Between them, 23 out of the 28 the Taipans have come up with. His ability to get to the free throw line creates problems for teams as well. He's top 6 in the competition and getting to the free throw line.
This doesn't look too good for Tajir McCall, though. We know how he plays. He plays 100 miles an hour. Flies all over the floor. He knocked those 2 down, but in terms of him getting a bit of heat on that and trying to warm it up, if there's nothing to keep him out. Here it was. That's his spark. Cleaned him up and felt every bit of that. So that is not what the Cairns Taipans need when you've only had 3 guys who are really ticking the scoreboard over, and he's one of them.
Here's Mitchell in the corner for Brisbane. Fires unsuccessfully. A little over a minute out from half-time. It's Cairns by 3 here. Both teams in front by at least 5 in each of the 2 quarters played so far. And second on the ladder against second bottom on the ladder. And this is the type of contest we're getting. It speaks volumes for the Hungry Jacks NBL. Antonio fires off the front of the rim. So 3 of 8 from long range in the opening quarter, Cairns, and they're 3 of 8 again in this second quarter. Sobey surveys the options. Harrison wanted it down low. There wasn't enough on the pass. Being fronted there by Davey.
They've done that a couple of times. Yes, they're going to have that height mismatch all game long, but you can't just stand around and try and throw a lob. You need to get that cross screen as DJ Hogue steps into a 3-ball. That's no good. If you just telegraph it, the Taipans are quick enough. They're going to come across and steal that ball.
Brisbane's edge in height really having an impact on this game. Rebound count at the moment is 21-11 in favour of Brisbane as Johnson adds to his tally.
Well, that's a tough finish going to your right as a left-hander. Takes a bump. Slow little 2-step and a tough finish. Bullets have done a great job to stay in this game.
Back to within 1. Hogue working on Mitchell.
Travel.
Not to the free throw line. Just on the play as well.
Shannon Scott went down there too. Looked like a little bit of an ankle roll. That's the last thing they need after Jim McCall just limped back to the locker room. Seems to be all right. I'm going to look at it here. Gave Bark a little love tap and then just came down there. Bulls get the chance to go in at halftime with the lead.
A war of attrition here for the Cairns Taipans. Just adjust the clock as needed. Baines and Davey having a dance at the moment.
Okay.
Taipans still with one foul to give here. Let's see if they try to use it to make the Bulls take it out again.
Sobey decides to go solo with a long-range three. Off glass, almost rattled it home. Couldn't get it to fit. And at half-time, after Brisbane led by 6 at the end of 1, we get to half-time with Cairns on top by a single point. It's Cairns 51, Brisbane 50. Well, this game well and truly up for grabs.
Well, it is. If you weren't looking at the score, Pete, you'd probably think Cairns were a little bit further ahead, but for the Bulls to have 50 points at half-time, very high scoring.
6 offensive boards, 11 assists. They are just dominating on all those 1%ers that Cairns are normally so good at.
So Greg Vanderjagt wanting to chat it over with the referees as well. A 1-point ball game here at half-time. We've got a lot more coming your way as well. But the Hungry Jacks NBL continues to celebrate inclusion and diversity during an inaugural Champion Pride round in round 17. And former Wildcats champion Trevor Torrance told us about his journey through the NBL.
I mean, I guess I kind of look at it in hindsight and go, it's makes me feel proud. Yeah. Which I never thought that I would actually say, but you know, that was a lot of great years. Being a professional athlete's tough enough. It really is. Particularly when you played for a club like the Wildcats, which is just an incredible organisation, but very much in the public. And you are part of the community, you are part of the society, and you sign up for that, and it's as it should be. Having that, and then also carrying a shadow of not being able to come forward, or feeling like I couldn't come forward, was tough and had very, very dark days. And yeah, I suffered from anxiety. I know that I had moments, bouts of depression. You know, it was all kept in, so it was a big weight to hold. And yeah, I wouldn't do it again. But you know, I'm also the person I am today because of it. When I was playing, and when things sort of started, when I knew what was going on, it was exactly the same time as HIV and AIDS hit the world. And we had the Grim Reaper on television. There was articles and there was information that you could catch HIV and AIDS off sweat or saliva. I was playing in a basketball team. I didn't go to the team, I didn't go to the club, but I know what I saw in the media. And I know how some players around the world, including in Australia, were reacting. I'm so pleased that we are in a world now that it's celebrated and embraced, and it's not stigmatized necessarily in sport. Unfortunately, it still has some in the community, and in the sport, but you know, the fact that the league is doing this, and I guess, you know, that has a lot to do with Isaac, so I applaud him for his courage, and I think it's a great thing that the league's done this. And for me, it's kind of, I'm grateful for this opportunity, because it's almost like I get a chance to come out. Although I've been out for quite some time now, so but you know, it's like it's a thing that I didn't ever get to do. I guess that's what makes me feel very emotional. The only thing I would like to say is just thank you to the club and to the players that I played with. I need to acknowledge that they probably all knew, and yet not one of them ever pushed it, asked, inquired, tested, and they always had my back whenever I was abused and whenever people used to yell abuse at me, whether we were overseas, interstate, or even here in Perth. They were right there. They would stand right by my side. So I'm incredibly grateful to them for always being there and for the club.
Great to have your company here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Take a look at some of the highlights here from the Taipans and Brisbane in a seesawing affair. Brisbane led by 6 at quarter time. Cairns back on top here at half time, 51-50. A great game going.
It is offensive shootout right now, and if you're the Taipans, you're obviously happy to put up 51 points. We know they can score at a high rate and really efficiently when they get rolling. But to give up 50 is not normally what they do. We always talk about how elite they are offensively. We forget that they actually are one of the strongest defensive teams when they lock in, and just too many open shots, those extra passes, 11 assists in the first half from the Bullets. So credit them for making the extra pass to allow those open shots. But the Cairns Taipans, they're going to really have to lock in because they do have a battle on their hands. If you look at some of the halftime stats, there's not a whole lot in it besides being absolutely out-rebounded. 6 O-boards in that 21 first half rebounds for the Bullets have given them some second chance opportunities. And this doesn't look too good, Gibbo. That's Tajim McCall. We saw him land. He's getting a bit of deep heat there, it looks like. Going to rub it on the glute. And if he can get through the game, It's going to be pretty sore afterwards.
It's never good when you've got to rub your own DP on either, Pete. Can we get a physio in there to help the man out? But he's been great, and he's pretty much one of the 3 scorers for the Taipans. So if he can't play in the second half, who's going to be their 3rd scorer to step up and provide some points?
Yeah, just 3 players have hit a field goal in this game for the Taipans so far. And Tajir McCall, they have to back up on Monday against Adelaide in another game that's been important to them in terms of maintaining their spot second on the ladder. Yeah,
it is. It's big time, and hopefully that injury is nothing to be concerned about. But this is a big time game, and the Bullets are only down by 1 point. They have 12 turnovers at halftime, so Cairns will be feeling a little bit nervous here at halftime for sure.
We've got a great second half coming your way, and thanks to Sportsbet, it is Dunkuary where we're raising money for prostate cancer here in the country. 172 dunks coming into tonight have raised $86,000 so far for a very worthy cause.
My name is Maggie Santanera. I'm a University of Adelaide and SAMRI Research Fellow, and I work on trying to improve ways of detecting, treating and managing prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer diagnosed in Australian men. This year alone, 24,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and almost 3,000 of those will die. The Dunkuary campaign is donating $500 for every dunk in January across the NBL to Australian prostate cancer research. These funds will help us find new and better treatments and overcome treatment resistance, which is where we see the most deaths from prostate cancer. If I could say one thing to Australian men, it's please go and get tested, because if we can detect prostate cancer early, we can save your life.
Queensland derby ready to go in the second half with the Taipans on top by 1 after Brisbane had led by 6 at quarter time.
First foul.
And very quick whistle here. 3 seconds played and a foul's been called.
The Queensland derby. It was starting that out. It was a Queensland, what was it, the Stoush?
Sunshine Stoush,
Sunshine
whichever
Stoush.
you like.
I like it.
We'll run with that. And the Cairns Taipans, second on the ladder. Well, they have not won a quarter after half-time in their last 2 games.
How's that? So Bullcold just picks up that foul in the 3 seconds and then did not stop him from being ultra-physical and trying to stop Tyler Johnson once again. And he might have got away with probably 3 other fouls, but that's the tone that he sets. On the opening game of the season, going to use that strength of his to really try and dictate on the other end. And there's Tajir McCall, and look, he is battling. We've mentioned a guest, we don't see much more than 90 seconds from Tajir McCall.
I think once he gets running up and down, adrenaline will kick in. But Bullcolt, back to Bullcolt, you mentioned Defensive Player of the Years, as we have a potential for some cheeseburgers here from Tyler Johnson.
77% free throw shooter coming into this game. 64 of 83. Brisbane were 8 of 8 before that miss. Did they go 8 in a row and then miss 2? No, just the one.
Absolutely not the case.
It's interesting that so far this season, so we have 129 games in the NBL. Only once has a team been 100% from the free throw line.
Yeah, Gibbo, just keep your eye on. You said to Jim McCall once he gets warmed up, he's out there looking like he's 86 years old. There is just no way he can continue. As you see right now, he's already called for it, so less than 90 seconds there. He's coming out of the game, and Shannon Scott tried to get a foul call.
Here's Mitchell going hard to the rim. Couldn't get a whistle.
They're going to get him out of the game here now, so he put all the deep heat on, probably had a couple of Panadol, tried to fight through it and just could not go. So no Keanu Pinder, no Tajir McCall. Super important game. He scored 17 points. Bullcoll has 15, DJ Hogue 16, and the rest of the team has 3 points from Sam Wardenberg. So now Shannon Scott, who took 1 shot in the first half, has to find his offensive end.
Well, Shannon Scott showed earlier on in the season with McCall out, he could step up and he had 30, 32, one of his best games. So 40 needs him to step up, and he'll have a lot of opportunity now with McCall out of the game. That's a breakdown by the Bullets.
Shot clock going off in the background. Peels off his 3rd triple of the game.
I don't think you need to send the double team. You hear Greg Vanderjet screaming for the double team from Andrew White to come, with Sam Wardenberg trying to back down Tyler Johnson nearly just inside the 3-point line. He was at the short corner. I don't think that has to be sent, as Bullcoll gets called for another foul.
Picks up his 3rd.
Well, this is going to make things really interesting. So there's the double team, and then Andrew White was closing out on the referee. That's a bold strategy. Another look here, and oh boy, the one that he picked up early on was definitely foul. That's not a whole lot in that.
Well, they had 7 fouls at half-time, the Taipans. They were all individual fouls, and now Bullcoll is up to 3.
This is the time where we say we got interviewed at halftime of one game when he had 3 fouls and said that he wouldn't change the way he plays. That's just what he does so well. This is probably the one time you have to think that you have to reel it back a little bit. With Tajir McCall down, Keanu Pinder's not there. Tyler Johnson knocks that one down. You've got 3 fouls. If you pick up a 4th foul, it's going to get interesting.
He's playing too well to take himself out of the game. You can still apply pressure, but just in a smart ways.
He's fouled out twice this year, Bullcoll. Once of those, one time was against Brisbane.
That's called an offensive foul with the swing through the elbow from DJ Hogue.
Second personal for Hogue.
Another look at it here, that little get out of my way. And
I've seen a lot worse than that let go.
Yeah. Well, they're saying you've got to be careful. I'm not sure how big the contact was, and there's a illegal screen, a terror screen from Baines. So, the last 15 seconds sound a bit like Gillies. There's whistles everywhere.
Does he move? He looks pretty set. Oh yeah, just
leaning into it, yeah.
Leans in and gives that a little bit extra.
Just that left shoulder moving from on the side to...
You think? That's a smaller man. That's no whistle.
It's not, but that slight movement. He didn't need to do it.
No, he would have had it. He was definitely there. You're right. He picked the spot, and there is Bulk on the offensive end. Continuing to do what he has to do. But you're right, he was there. He didn't move his legs. He just moved into it with the shoulder ever so slightly. But again, we've seen those let go as well. And that's probably the 5th block attempt in this game from both teams that's ended up with a swipe across the head.
Look like you're putting a lot of mayo on it.
Okay, you can't put your hands on me. That's a foul every time.
I'm hearing you.
Nathan Sobey, a little complaint.
A little extra mayo there from the referee.
I don't mind that.
Baines is...
Banger went for another.
Baines is out for blood.
4-point edge in favour of the Taipans, and they've got to back off Brisbane again, and a chance for Hogue to jump upstairs. Lost control of it.
Got caught in 2 minds.
And now Sobey hard back the other way. Helps himself to 2. No, he doesn't. He has one rattle off.
Cue the Benny Hill music on that last sequence.
Oh, boy.
All pass.
Keep it going. DJ Hogue looked like he got in 2 minds. Wanted to flush it, then tried to save himself with the layup.
Baines is firing the 3 and knocking it down as well. His first triple of the game.
I think all fans everywhere watching can thank Aaron Baines for just giving us a nice settler.
Scott still yet to score in the game. He's taken 1 shot. Now he's taken his 2nd and it's off target again. So a chance for Brisbane to retake the lead here. They led in the opening quarter by as many as 7. Had a 6-point buffer at one stage in the second. Down low, Baines again. Good use of the body and maybe a flop warning coming the way there of the Taipans.
Maybe a timeout here. I'll tell you what, Case, you mentioned that terror screen could potentially be let go. I think there was more in this than the terror screen.
I think talk about mayo there to Sobey before. Looked like Bull put a bit of mayo on this one.
Let's go courtside to Jenna O'Hay.
Yeah, just down here at the Taipans end, obviously keeping an eye on Taj McCall. We saw him only last about 90 seconds on the court when he first went on. I did speak to the doctor and he said he was okay. He falls a lot during games and it was a bit of a bruise, so he tried, obviously in a lot of pain. He's come off again. It is attached to his spine. That's why he's struggling so much to put weight on his leg. It's pretty much just how much pain he can put up with. He wants to try. He's given the thumbs up to Kerry Williams, the assistant coach, so we'll see if he can get back out there.
We just need more time for that deep heat to really get to full strength, and not a whole lot of padding over there. Some people will know this.
Yeah, certainly not for Tajir McCall. He's already missed 5 games this year because of injury, and in fact, one of these teams last played round 14 in Brisbane, and Taipans came up with that 26-point win. Adam Ford was absent that night, and Kerry Williams, the assistant coach, was in charge.
Here he comes back on to Jim McCall.
Moving a bit more freely now.
A couple of painkillers.
There you go, referee. Deep heat, you'll be right. I'd be turning around and saying, what do you think I'm trying over here?
So an eventful 3.5 minutes of the second half behind us. Brisbane in front by 1 after Cairns started the quarter in front by that number.
Still only 4 players have hit the scoreboard for the Taipans, and one of those has 3 points.
Wild dances inside, kicks to McCall. He wants to fire the 3 well off the mark. It's not his strong suit. Brisbane are going to let him have the 3 ball all night long.
Well, especially with half a leg as well. It's, you don't want to settle for that if you're McCall. Obviously, see how he goes, see if he's got that power to be able to attack the hoop. But when he close out shorty for the boards is...
Well, Wardenberg got plenty of the ball there. The referee was right there on top of his second personal.
I think that's one of those where he thinks he potentially could have got away with it, but there's nothing to challenge because there would have been a little bit of contact and not a whole lot. Have another look here. So a switch out from Wardenberg, and oh boy, I'm not so sure.
5th team foul on the Taipans in this quarter, so free throws to come, and we've got more than 6 minutes to play in this quarter. It's an area for Brisbane to exploit.
Well, Brisbane let Cairns off the hook in that possession. You've got to try and bring Tajir McCall into every single play and really try and test that glute of his. Does he want to try and move side to side? You saw him before, he was trying to switch everything. He'll be able to get the ball to someone who can attack him downhill.
Nathan Sobey career 85% free throw shooter. I posed the question to Adam Gibson pre-game about if there was one player in the NBL who you'd ask to take your free throws for you. Certainly Nathan Sobey, career-wise, has got to be near the top of that list as Wardenberg from close range gets his first field goal.
Well, that's big to see someone else hit the scoreboard. Case, Taipans definitely need that, and I think if I'm shooting for my own life, Case, I'm taking my own foul shots.
Well, you were 80% and above during your career as well, so I'm not surprised. Probably a few other people will be picking you as well after 460 games and shooting the ball 80% and above from the free throw line. It's a single point the difference here. Middle stages of the third. Bull Quayle exploring, hands over. McCall from close range adds to his tally, now with 19.
Well, that's a breakdown on the defensive end. There's no need to try and block that against the backboard. Tajir McCall was never going to leave the ground.
Sobey goes on with a dribble and with a left hand adds to his tally. A game high 21 now for Nathan Sobey. Brisbane back in front by a point. It's Bull Quayle. It's past Johnson, confronted by Bain. Sobey joins in as well, and he still comes up with a finish.
He's a 20-piece nugget for Bull Curry. He is having himself some sort of night on the offensive end. 3 assists as well. Shooting 60% from the field. 3 of 6 from 3. Hasn't missed a free throw.
Sobey takes them on and drew a foul as well.
Orange, 1. Got a block. 2 shots.
He's got the call, but the other referee didn't blow the whistle, so he just wants to explain the circumstances to him as well.
Yeah, he just asked for that call based on referee. Nico's right on top of that one, though.
You're challenging the call.
Yeah, it looked like initially. So there's DJ Hogue saying that he thinks the contact was initiated from Nathan Sobey. There wasn't a heap in it. But I think what will find DJ Hogue maybe in a bit of trouble is his right leg.
Coach's challenge, no timeout, so we're not going to have the challenge, it would appear.
Well, still look like, I think Adam Ford was really questioning it. In the end, he may have
changed his mind here.
Now here we go. If that's been changed based on the replay for, so have another look here. This is what they were trying to challenge. The foul. There was a foul on
certainly
McCall for sure. So there we go. So the referee signalled the wrong player number. So the foul obviously on Tajir McCall, which was there. So Adam Ford, and this is what didn't happen with Brisbane versus Adelaide a couple of weeks ago when they tried to figure out, or we were talking about when the foul's on the wrong player, you can cancel your timeout. So Brisbane versus Melbourne, sorry, when Vanderjet wanted to challenge something and then they said it wasn't challengeable, should have still said, do you want your timeout? That's what's happened there. So Adam Ford said, I'm challenging the foul called on DJ Hogue.
Yep.
The referee went over and said, actually, we've called the foul on Tajir McCall. Do you still want your timeout? And he says no.
Yeah. Good game management all round there. Sobey to the free throw line. 5 of 5 from the stripe in this game. And Brisbane 11 of 12 overall. 18 of 21 from the free throw line for the Taipans at 86%, being good in that category. Taipans trying to keep their hold on second spot after the result earlier tonight with New Zealand defeating Melbourne by 6 points, 80-74 to join them on 16 wins. That result means the Taipans are guaranteed to be in the playoffs. A chance here for Sobey to extend the lead for Brisbane. He gets Statman a good look and he's off the mark. Wardenberg the rebound.
Well, it's a great pass by Sobey. Playing with great poise at the moment, picking his times. He knows he's in the bonus, so he can get to the foul line, but it's a great kick-ahead pass for a wide-open 3.
Inside the last 4 minutes of the third quarter. Single point the difference. Bull Quayle fires unsuccessfully. Johnson gets after the rebound and showed too much of it to Ben Eyre. Retrieved it from him. Here's Hogue, hard to the rack. 2 more for the big man. He's got 21 to lead the Taipans.
On DJ Hogue, I think as much as you can try and get downhill and create. He's going to have a really big say. He's got 21 points. You're probably looking at a 35-point effort from DJ Hogue to get them across the line in this one.
Johnson off the mark and Quayle grabs the board. Still Brisbane with that Double-figure edge in the rebound count, 26-16. Bull Quoll takes them on, draws a foul on Mitchell, his second personal. And Bull Quoll to the free throw line where he is 5 of 5 tonight.
It does shock me that he doesn't look to do this more. He is a 3-and-D type player. He's going to spot up to shoot the 3-ball and be really good on the defensive end, one of the best guard defenders in the league. But with that physicality, to be able to get by someone and put heat on the rim, I think he's got to start to look a bit more for that.
Well, no doubt, and no doubt he's in great shape. He's a great athlete, but when you probably wouldn't know this too much, people, when you hound the ball, you pick up 30 feet, you work on the defensive end, you get tired and your legs get fatigued, and
that's actually,
sometimes you don't have as much energy to be able to go on the offensive end and put your head down and attack that.
To be fair, I do actually understand that part. I thought you were talking about what it means to be an athlete.
Well,
I was like, okay, that's fair too.
Well, that too, but, you know, against the Phoenix, he was incredible picking up the ball, full court. Gary Brown, no matter who it was, full court defense like he's doing here, that gets tiring. So sometimes you want to rest on the offensive end, and sometimes shooting a 3 is a lot easier than putting your head down and getting to the hoop.
Not all of us could have built our stamina up from starting in the NBL when they were 12 in 460 games.
16 fine years for Adam Gibson. Hungry Jacks NBL. And inside the last 3 minutes of the third quarter here, and the arm wrestle continues. Never more than 4 points between these teams in this quarter. Both have had the lead in each of the 3 terms so far. Mitchell had to add to his halftime tally. Now he's getting a little anxious from beyond the foul line. Forced into a tough shot by DJ Hogue, but he came up with a finish.
Well, that is great defense. That's great one-on defense, a great contest, and just sometimes better offense wins.
But again, they are letting the Taipans off the hook. You let Jim McCall sit in the corner and not have to guard anybody. And he's playing the center's position down the other end. With that hip injury, he's just pulling himself in the dunker spot and cleaning up the mess.
First score since half-time for McCall. Hampered at the moment that injury that he sustained late in the second quarter. Cairns by 2. Sobey fires the 3. It's off the mark. Wardenberg grabs the board. Number 9 for him.
Even in that one there from Tajir McCall, he was screaming at Ben Air to guard the ball twice, which you don't want to see anybody do on the defensive end. He's just really trying to march everybody around, and then
well, some heavy fatigue setting right now.
Oh.
They got it done. Statman adds to his tally. Now with 6 in the game. Tied away a little over 90 seconds out from three-quarter time.
Some Cairns players have run on empty. Waterberg's gas. Bull Quoll's barely making his way up and down the floor.
Hogue into a trap. Needs help. Skip pass. Wardenberg bounces into Sobey. He's going to be called for the foul.
They get away with that one. So Tajir McCall setting that little screen. DJ Hogue. DJ Mitchell's got to say, I'm going to the one who takes DJ Hogue and let Gak stay guarding Tajir McCall, who's struggling to move. It's going to be a little smarter on both ends, and they're going to find the game get a lot easier.
Ben Air with it now. Against Johnson, aggressively gets into the paint, fires, couldn't finish it. Rebound, Josh Davey. Important O-board. Now Shannon Scott with it. He needs to get more involved. Shannon Scott, none of 2 from the field. McCall goes back to him, and now red numbers on the shot clock. Asks a lot of McCall again. Couldn't finish it. Loose ball came back to Ben Air.
Well, that's great defense for the Bullets. We're just not finishing off the possession with the rebound as Ben Air steps in for
it's off the mark as well.
Still had the 4 players who have scored. Right now on the floor for the Taipans, there's only 1 player who's scored. That's Tajir McCall's 21 points, and he's out there on half a leg. Everyone else hasn't scored. Bull Quoll's got 21, DJ Hogue's got 21, McCall's got 21, and Wardenberg has the other 5 points for Cairns.
Just 1 field goal. 20 of the 21 field goals from 3 players for Cairns. Doing it under duress at the moment. Rasmus Bark fires, can't connect. And Harrison wrestling for the rebound. Foul going to be called here on the Taipans. So free throws to come for Brisbane. So chance here for Harrison as we remind you of the great program we've got running here thanks to MG. We're giving away a brand new MG ZSEV electric car valued at $44,990. You can enter now at nbl.com.au/winmg. That's how easy it is. Get in the draw. You could be driving away with that spectacular fully electric vehicle.
That easy, Case. Enter the draw to win a car.
The draw.
Why would you not enter that draw?
Well, I'll tell you why, because if the car you're getting is the one that's at Andrew Gaze's house, I'm sure you're going to get a brand new one. But that thing is continuing to stay there.
I'm sure it'll come back. And then we'll get the winner of the competition a brand new one.
You'll get a brand new one. You know, there's no way Andrew Gaze is going to part with it anyway, so we need a brand new one.
Burgers for Queensland. Harrison, line drive, the second one. Code word is trap. Everyone in Queensland, including Bullets fans,
including Terrell Harrison,
are entitled to a free Hungry Jack's cheeseburger. Get around it, Queensland. Great game. So tight. Now, not only the entertainment's good, but a free burger on top of that. And still another quarter to come. Ben Eyre bounces into the paint, came up with 2 to open his scoring account. Johnson on the buzzer. But three-quarter time arrives here, and after Cairns led by 1 at halftime, they've doubled the margin. They're out to a 2-point lead with a quarter to play. Stay with us here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, fourth quarter and more coming at you right after this. Never a dull moment when the Cairns Taipans are involved, and right now we have got a cliffhanger. 70-68. Taipans lead their Queensland rivals Brisbane in a seesawing affair where both teams have been in front in each of the 3 quarters so far, and the biggest lead was a 7-point edge for Brisbane in the opening quarter. Tashir McCall trying to shake off that injury he sustained deep in the second quarter and still provide something for the Taipans, who right now don't have a lot of petrol left in the tank but are desperate to get their 17th win of the season and maintain their hold on second spot on the ladder after New Zealand beat Melbourne earlier tonight. Majuk Deng, he's overdue and joins the scoring party now.
Well, it's fair to say they needed that. Pete is only the 5th scorer for the Taipans, so big bucket. Hopefully in limited minutes he can step up and get back to the old Majuk of...
Well, those 3 guys who have scored 21 each, the rest of the team combined are 3 of 21 from the field, including that 3 from Deng. So they need other guys to contribute. Because right now, Shannon Scott is having a tough one. He gets the assist there, the touch pass. Big knockdown from Majuk Deng, which is going to help on the Amy replay. But Shannon Scott, 0 points. He's taking 2 shots in a game where, to Jim McCall, he's not getting ready to go to Gillies for all those people just tuning in. That is not a dance move. He has landed on his hip. But he's injured. Keanu Pinder's not there. And Shannon Scott just, Adam Ford, you just want him to start to be really aggressive.
Well, he's got to be 2 attempts from the field goal. Like, it's nowhere near enough. And you mentioned McCall being injured. He's got to step up.
He's just lost confidence. He was none of 5 from the field, just 2 points in the loss to the Phoenix on Australia Day, on Wednesday the 25th, in fact. And here's Harrison adding 2 more for Brisbane.
Just the second no ball of the second half, so they've done a good job of cleaning that up. But Adam Ford's not happy. He's going to bring Sam Wardenberg straight back in. Look at the rebounding numbers, 36 to 23. He's potential steal there. Then there recovers.
Goes on with the dribble past Statman one way, back the other from the foul line, adds to his tally.
Well, this kid's got some game. Benny Ayres, handles on point. You've got a nice, easy layup to end the third quarter. His confidence is high, and that's what he can do when he is playing with confidence.
What impressed me so much about Ben Ayres, we saw it firsthand down at the State Basketball Centre. He warms up 2.5 hours before everybody else and doesn't go back in the locker room to chill. It just continues to warm up until about 20 minutes out of the game. Works up a big sweat and just makes sure he's locked in for every opportunity. And there's Tyler Johnson, speaking of locked in. He's up to 20 points now.
Only 5 since half-time, though, for Tyler Johnson. So he needs to come to the party here at Brisbane after score the upset, having lost 3 straight games to Cairns this season and their last 7 overall. That's Majuk Deng. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Foul's going to be called on Brisbane. Tyler Johnson picks up his second personal. So McCall limps back onto the floor. Wardenberg joins him, playing with a couple of fouls. Paul Quall has 3 personal fouls. Yeah. Goes back to McCall in the corner. Majuk Deng liked it the first time. He went back for seconds and came up with another.
That's what he can do. Majuk Deng started the season really strong coming off the bench. And then went out at full strength, just tried to have his little impact. That's
Baines off the ball. So Rand's ball.
So that's going to be another foul called on Baines. Nico Fernandez all over it. It's going to be Aaron Baines' 4th foul. If you're Statman, I don't understand. You just hit one. Let's have another look at it here. DJ Mitchell, double team, and oh boy.
Little nudge.
And that little nudge is stronger than most people's little nudges. I don't know if that one was there.
So 4 fouls on Aaron Baines. There's Johnson exploring. It's Majuk Deng. Couldn't find a way past. Now they'll lob it inside for Baines. He muscles his way in close. Adds another 2. So into double figures. 11 points, 3 boards now for Baines.
And that's what we talked about they should be doing all game. They've tried it in terms of that pass into the post. A lot of them have been stolen. You just got to throw it up there. Aaron Baines isn't going to sky up and get it. He's going to use his strength to hold them off. And there's Shannon Scott, who's going to find himself on the scoreboard.
Offensive rebound and a putback for Shannon Scott. His first field goal in his last 2 games and arrives here in the last quarter. 6-point buffer. It's Cairns 80, Brisbane 74, 7:02 to play. Well, credit to Brisbane. They've stuck at it here and really given Cairns all they can handle. And Taipans, will credit to them as well, given their personnel problems. No Keanu Pinder, and of course Tajir McCall hampered since late in the second quarter with that injury. And this has been titanic. It's been quite a struggle.
Yeah, it has, and they're coming off a tough game Wednesday night against the Phoenix. Mostly out in the travel. Their main guys have played a lot of minutes, and they have again tonight. So that's a great time out there by the boards. Cairns on a little bit of a roll. Good momentum stopper.
Who wins from here, Pete?
Oh boy. Still think Cairns. That man there loves a big moment. Expect him to start to really turn on the Jets in this last 7 minutes.
.7:02 left on the clock. Brisbane down 6. Can they find a way home from here, Adam Gibson?
Yeah, I think they can. I don't think they will. I think they can. They have the potential. I mean, Sobey's playing really good basketball. Johnson has been great their last few games. If they can just keep it close, maybe get some fatigue out of Cairns, and that pressure might build come the last few minutes of the game. If they can keep it close.
Well, with thanks to Hungry Jack's NBL, you could whopper your way to LA. Grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jack's. And enter your receipt code to win. The prize includes flights, accommodation, spending money, 4 tickets to a basketball game as well. So get involved with that great competition.
Sam Wardenberg, he dropped his head because absolutely had to do everything but that. Just do not touch that. Don't touch the net. That was going to fall out. In the end, 2 points for Nathan Sobey. Up to 25 now. Here is that man who loves the fourth quarter, though, DJ Hogue. They'll be trying to put him in nearly every offensive set.
Red numbers on the shot clock. Dang. This time can't connect. Mitchell grabs the board as we go courtside to Jenna O'Hay.
Yeah, I was in the Bullets timeout then, and they really wanted to finish with box out, so Greg Vanderjack will be happy with that defensive play. He said it's all about the 1%ers. We're down 6, well now down 2 because of breakdowns, so they need to lock in. He thought there was a bit too much dribble, so they wanted to go to their wide action. That's how they got Sobey that wide open layup 2 possessions ago.
Baines now up to 13 points in the game. From the elbow, Shannon Scott adds to his tally.
His second knockdown of the night after getting that offensive rebound put back. 4 points. On the Bullets, going straight back to the same play. Get Aaron Baines. Well, Nathan Sobey going downhill. And
Baines, he just dodged his 5th foul.
I think he did on that one.
Here's Hogue with options. Machuk Deng fires and knocks down his 3rd triple of the quarter.
Big minutes. Big contribution here from Machuk Deng. Much needed.
Taipan's biggest lead of the game here by 7, middle stages of the 4th quarter. And these final terms have not been kind to the Brisbane Bullets this year. Just 4 last quarter wins in 26 games. So odds stacked against them, but they've got Rasmus Bark, who hasn't hit a 3 all season, and he has now. None of 19 on the season. He knocks down the 3.
I don't know if I've seen you more excited, Cairns, for a 3-pointer to go down. Big shot as we see the Amy replay. Machuk Deng has come in off the bench, been starved of opportunity. Obviously, there's a lot of players ahead of him. 3 out of 6 from the 3-point line in just over 8 minutes. Rasmus Bark for his first 3, 1 of 19, Case.
Sam Wardenberg looks a little worse for her as well. And you thought Case loved that. I guarantee you that he enjoyed it more. Have a look at Sam Wardenberg at the top, just stepping on Nathan Sobey's foot. So they are really up against it now, these Taipans. They are battered and bruised. And to make matters worse, Machuk Deng cops a falcon from Tajima Cole.
Turnover number 10 for the Taipans. Brisbane has 14. Sobey explores, opens up for the 3 ball. It's off the mark. Hands by 4, a little over 4 minutes left on the clock.
And that was the one right there where you can get that shot at any time with the way they're defending the ball screen with all these injuries. That's the exact same play that we saw at the start of the 4th quarter where we said there's no need to be jumping for joy on Tajima McCall right now. He can't elevate with that glute injury. You just stay down and wall up, make him finish over the top of you. As soon as you get in the air, he's going to draw the foul and go to the free throw line. I think that's why Adam Ford's laughing. Just can't believe. It's a lack of discipline on that end, no doubt. It's also just a lack of awareness.
Good shots here.
A war of attrition this has been so far. McCall 6 of 7 from the free throw line, well above his 63% conversion rate this season. As we go to Jenna O'Hay at courtside.
Yeah, down at the Taipans end, obviously we saw Sam Wardenberg with his ankle there. He's come to the tunnel back here. He's walked it off. Seems like a bit of a stinger, but he seems good to go, and he's given the thumbs up to 40 to go back in.
Well, that'll come into relief for Adam Ford, who was looking like he might have to pull out the shoes himself at this rate. With how many guys have been going down with some injuries.
Mitchell turnaround baseline against McCall, who can hardly defend him, adds another 2 to his tally. He's into double figures.
Well, it's just simple basketball. We've mentioned they're killing them inside the paint, both with Baines, DJ Mitchell. Give them the ball back inside it and go to what's working.
And even more to that point, his ball sitting in the corner, hit the wide open one, and he's great athletic effort from Tajima McCall. Oh. But down that side, it's Tajima McCall, because of this injury, is just putting himself underneath the hoop. So when you had DJ Mitchell guarding him, he can't do a whole lot.
DJ Mitchell picks up the foul, his 4th personal. Timeout called with 3:37 to play. 4 is the margin. It's never been in double figures at any stage in the game. Biggest margin, 7 for Brisbane in the opening quarter, 7 for Cairns in this quarter. And it's 4 the difference here. With 3.5 to play, Bukwal started the game on fire. 12 points in the opening quarter out of the Taipans 21. And we've said it throughout the night, just loves playing against the Brisbane Bullets.
Well, he does. Every single game he just comes out with a different mindset than the rest of the season. And we keep saying there's no reason why he can't try and be this aggressive for this team. You know, he likes to spot up, shoot the 3 ball, but I've been really impressed with his ability to put the ball on the floor, like right here. Once he gets that step pass, he's strong enough to finish through contact. Even there has a nice little touch. So this has been an exceptional performance from Bukwal, and hopefully another one of those eye-opening moments for him of the next evolution to his game.
Averages 10 points a game in his 4 games against Brisbane. This season he's averaged 15, and he's coming off a 5-point game against the Phoenix on Wednesday when he was 1 of 8 from long range.
He hit 8 threes against Brisbane last year. That was his breakout performance in this arena. That's probably where it all started.
So it's been a very entertaining affair, despite the disparity on these teams on the ladder. 1 second from the top, 1 second from the bottom. And right now you'd be hard-pressed to find out which one it was if you weren't in the know in the NBL. But as we mentioned, 2 great games to come tomorrow. Tasmania hosting Perth, Sydney against the Phoenix, and Cairns have to back up on Monday against Adelaide, against a high-powered Adelaide team as well. And they can't afford to drop any games. His Shannon Scott was quiet all night. Now he's got 7, all here in the last quarter.
His 4th quarter's been huge. He had been quiet, he hadn't scored. All it takes is a few minutes for him to step up and give the Taipans a 7-point lead.
Sobey continues to work hard. 27 in the game now for Nathan Sobey.
Well, that's why we were a bit confused again with that 3 he took off the ball screen. Just don't have to do it. There is Shannon Scott. Starting to get a little aggressive. Adam Ford with the fresh fade.
He's happy about that one, Pete.
Well, he is, unless he saw something else that we didn't see, maybe the extra pass. Nathan Sobey, 27 points, career highest 35.
He's probably going to need to beat that if they're going to have a chance.
They've put themselves in a position. 85 points already with 3 minutes to go is more than enough to be winning a game. You've given up 90 to a team that has been hampered with injuries. And as you mentioned, Case, they could play Adelaide in a couple of days. And these little injuries are ones that are going to take a lot of recovery.
So inside the last 3 minutes, Taipans with possession and a 5-point buffer. Single digits on the shot clock, though. Bukwal works on Mitchell, playing with 4 fouls. Wants to make him play some D, and he wormed his way past him and came up with 2 more.
Well, I know you're happy about that, Pete. You've wanted to attack the hoop. He's an athlete.
Just that strength, but again, that poise, that last move he made is down the other end. Nathan Sobey, Baines comes flying in. With the poise to get down low and not rush anything, little step through. Easy finish.
Well, and DJ Mitchell was on 4 fouls, so he can't afford to foul either, so he has to be a little bit careful when he's playing that one-on-one defense.
Chance now for Hogue. Reaching in, Christmas Bark going to be called for the foul. So free throws to come here for the Taipans with Brisbane over the limit. Red Vanderjack calls timeout.
I'm wondering if he was thinking. I don't think he was thinking of challenging because Rasmus Bark didn't turn to us for the challenge. That left arm around would have been hard anyway. Red just wants to have a quick chat about things.
DJ Hogue looks a little bit sore there, that right shoulder.
So DJ Hogue might be a little banged up with his shoulder. We're seeing grimacing there. Sam Wardenberg. So this is the one that the right hand. Either way, because of the positioning of everybody else, I don't think he's challenging it, so it doesn't matter. But that left arm would have been the easy call once you go to look at it.
Absolutely.
Red just wants to have a chat about things. Get a chance to extend this lead out to 9 with 2.5 minutes remaining.
So much on the line here after New Zealand beat Melbourne a little earlier tonight, 80-74. Breakers getting it done against Melbourne, whose percentage being the lowest of the teams theoretically in the hunt for the playoffs. It's really going to hinder their chances of forcing their way in. But still plenty to play out, including that game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting down to Tassie, the Jack Jumpers against Perth. That's going to be so important for both teams.
Oh, massive. That is a massive game to start a blockbuster Sunday. And at this rate, I don't know how many Cairns players we're going to see suit up on Monday night.
Well, they're certainly battle weary, aren't they? It's really been a tough night at the office for them, and started tough without Keanu Pinder.
And it might be more important that they do avoid the playing tournament, so you get that extra bit of rest to get everybody has just a couple little niggles here. I mean, that Tajir McCall knocks to the glute. We'll probably just hang around for a few days. Keanu Pinder, no, haven't got an update on him, but we're hoping they give as much rest as possible to get him back for the finals.
Biggest lead of the game. 9-point edge for the Taipans here. And as we count down the last 2 minutes, Sobey outside. Baines has already hit 1-3. This time can't connect.
Well, that one-on-one defense by Bull Qual there was elite. Didn't get screened on 2 screens, got through. See Baines with a 3, didn't drop.
Shannon Scott stepped up here in the last quarter along with Majuk Deng. Bull Qual had it, lost it. Heats McCall from long range. He's off the mark. Chance for Brisbane here. Drag themselves a little closer. Johnson has 20 points, 15 of those in the first half. They need some production now at the offensive end. Can't provide it, but kept alive by Rasmus Bark. Goes back to Johnson, who draws a foul on Scott. First team foul on Cairns in this quarter.
That's a really good foul by Scott. Doesn't hurt him. They're not in the bonus. 3 more to give they can use. Take some more time off the clock.
No doubt. Thought an offensive rebound. Rasmus Bark might have had DJ Mitchell. He wasn't open to shoot it. There would have been one more to the corner. Feet set.
Mitchell. Shot clock rolls to red numbers now. Some work to do. Rushes down low off the glass and comes up with the finish. It's Cairns by 7 inside the last 60 seconds. Bullets must get a stop here to put some pressure on. And the Taipans will be happy just to milk the clock. Bull Qual goes on with the dribble, now retreats outside the 3-point line. They've done this well. Shot clock now rolls to red numbers. Bull Qual elevates, comes up with a shot, but he couldn't finish it. So another chance. Mitchell need to get some offense happening quickly, and the pass for Baines was a poor one, stolen by Shannon Scott.
Well, Brisbane have got to get up here. They've got a foul, they've got a double. I think they've thrown in there.
There's Shannon Scott copping a little hip to hip. He looks a little sore.
Shot clock rolls down now. Red numbers, they've coughed it up. Johnson on with the dribble. Can't finish it. Wardenberg grabs the rebound.
That'll do it.
And that's going to get them across the line. They're battered and they're bruised, but the Cairns Taipans have won their 17th game of the season to hold on to second spot on the Hungry Jacks NBL ladder, and they've done it here by 7 points. It's Cairns 94, Brisbane 87.
Really gutsy effort from the Cairns Taipans. They dug deep. Jim McCall copping that injury. No Keanu Pinder, and everyone else seemed to have some little injury throughout the game, and it was 3 players. Bull Qual, Tajir McCall, and DJ Hogue each had 23 points, and everybody else chipped in the 4th quarter when fatigue started to kick in and those injuries. So that's a really, really gutsy effort, and what could be a really, really important win. And our Foot Locker player of the game is Bull Curry. 12 points to kickstart things, and the 23 points, 4 assists, and really, again, he had a great offensive game, but set a tone on the defensive end.
Well, he set a tone early with his offense as well, and come out hot, like you said, Pete. Bull Qual's in phenomenal form, and his defensive work, I think, is what is most special about his game.
Equal career high night for Bull Qual. His 23 points included 12 in the opening quarter to help Cairns get across the line and sweep Brisbane here with a 4-0 result on the season. So it's Cairns 94, Brisbane 87. We'll be back to wrap it up and tell you a little more right after this. Stay with us on the Hungry Jacks NBL. Thanks for staying with us here on a Saturday night in the Hungry Jacks NBL, the Queensland Derby, the Sunshine Stoush, whichever way you want to cut it. It's the Taipans who clean sweep their Queensland rivals, have now won the last 8 games against Brisbane. 4-zip this season, 4-zip last season. And they did it in style here, getting home by 7 points. And that was 9-point margin in the last quarter, was the biggest margin we saw at any stage. It was an arm wrestle.
Well, it was, and credit for the Taipans. They had to hang tough, kind of grind it out, and they did just that. I think 3 players took over on the offensive end, as we mentioned all game long. Hogue, Qual and McCall, and there's the Jim McCall just hobbling around, and really, talk about the word gutsy, that's incredible from Tajim McCall. And now he has to really rest and recover, get ready for Monday night. Big win. Majuk Deng was massive in the 4th quarter, hit 3 threes, and Shannon Scott came alive in the 4th quarter, which was needed as well.
And the ladder with that victory now takes the Taipans to 17 after the Breakers won earlier today to get to 16. So they just keep ahead of them. Taipans against Adelaide on Monday night and finish next Friday night in Perth. And the Wildcats in action tomorrow against Tassie and Sydney against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. So 10 games remaining in the regular season and we're still none the wiser. It's starting to take shape, but still plenty on the line for these teams.
Well, there's a lot to play out, like you said, in these last few games, and the results matter. So you want to finish as high as possible on the ladder for the playing games. And for Cairns, what's the fallout for all these injuries coming in against Adelaide in 2 days' time is going to be huge.
Yeah, no doubt. And Adelaide will want to finish their season on the right note and really be having some positive memories. But think about that. Tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m, Case, you're going down there. That place is going to be rocking. Perth coming in, trying to set a tone. Bryce Cotton just had a 40-piece. That game is going to set up. That's a nice... There's no entree. There's 2 main courses tomorrow. There's the other one. Kings versus Phoenix. Phoenix, what can they do? What are the ladder-leading Kings?
It's going to be very interesting tomorrow, and then on Monday, Cairns hosting Adelaide as well. So trust you've enjoyed it here tonight. It's been a good one for the Cairns Taipans. They needed to win, and they got the job done. They've defeated Brisbane here by 7 points. For now, though, on behalf of our hard-working team, Jenna O'Hay at courtside, Pete Hooley, Adam Gibson and all the crew, I'm John Casey. We look forward to your company tomorrow as round 17 in the NBL continues and the race to the playoffs.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.